Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle something really important, transforming your interview English. We're not just talking about being correct. We're talking about sounding confident, professional, and genuinely fluent. And we're going to do it by building your very own professional toolkit. So, let me just ask you this. Do you ever have that feeling in a big interview where you know you have the skills, but the English words just don't seem to capture how good you really are? That's called the confidence gap, and it's a totally normal feeling. But today, we're going to close that gap for good. Because look, the secret isn't to go out and memorize a dictionary. It's about having a few powerful, strategic tools ready to go. So think of this as our workshop. We're going to build your interview toolkit together, one piece at a time. All right, let's dive right in. Our very first tool is the foundation of everything else. It's all about mastering the story of your career and using grammar to frame your experience in the most powerful way possible. Okay, so what's the big deal here? It really comes down to this. The past simple tells a finished story. It's a closed chapter. I completed a certification in 2024. Done. But the present perfect, that's totally different. It builds a bridge from your past to right now. When you say, I have completed 3 certifications, you're telling the interviewer this knowledge is fresh, it's relevant, and it's part of who I am today. Now, this right here, this is your cheat sheet. Think of these as little alarm bells. If you're talking about something that happened last quarter, your brain should just automatically go, okay, past simple. If you find yourself saying, so far, that's your cue to use the present perfect. It's a super simple trick to get this right every single time. Let's grab our second tool, which is a total game changer for that question we all dread. So, how would your former manager describe you? This tool is your secret weapon because it lets you talk about your strengths without sounding like you're bragging. You just let your old boss do the talking for you. So, imagine this is exactly what your manager said to you. It's great praise, right? But you can't just repeat it. Instead, you need to report it. And here's the magic trick. When you report something someone said, the verb takes one little step back into the past. So the present tense, deliver, becomes the past tense, delivered. It's such a small shift, but wow, it makes a huge difference in how professional you sound. And hey, you don't have to get stuck using the word said all the time. Look at the different flavors you can add. Mentioned sounds nice and casual. Noted feels a little more formal, like it was in a performance review, and pointed out is perfect when you want to zoom in on a specific detail they complimented. Choosing the right verb here is next level stuff. All right, on to our third tool. And I gotta be honest, this one might just give you the biggest and fastest boost in fluency. We are talking about collocations. Mastering these is the key to sounding natural and professional. So what on earth are collocations? The easiest way to think about them is as word friends. They're just words that native speakers naturally use together all the time. Learning these little phrases is a shortcut to sounding less like a textbook and more like a future colleague. Here is a perfect example. Measurable outcomes. When you say you focus on these, you're sending a powerful signal to the interviewer that you are all about data and results. It's a massive power-up in a single phrase. How do you say you're an expert without actually saying, I'm an expert? This is how you do it. Describing yourself as the go-to person for something is just a cool, confident, and really natural way to claim your expertise. And it's the same idea here. Instead of saying, I am ambitious, which is fine, saying you are a driven person just hits differently. It suggests you have this strong internal motivation, that you push yourself. And trust me, that's exactly what hiring managers are listening for. Now, this is so important. Prepositions can be tricky, but in the professional world, a lot of them are just locked into these phrases. So my advice, stop trying to figure out the logic. Just memorize these as one complete unit. You base decisions on data. You have an impact on results. Drill these until they become completely automatic. Okay, time for our final tool for the kit. And we've saved a big one for last. This tool is all about correctly and clearly answering the most important question of all. Why do you want this job? You know, this is one of the most common mistakes, but it breaks down into a super simple 2-part rule. Rule 1. If you're explaining your purpose, your why, you always use to plus the verb. I am applying to develop my skills. Rule 2. After any preposition, words like in, for, about, the very next verb always ends in ing. I am interested in joining. Just stick to those 2 rules and you'll nail it every time. Okay, the moment of truth, the toolkit is officially built.
We have our 4 essential tools. So now let's put them all into action and see what a truly perfect answer actually looks and sounds like.
This is where the magic really happens. We're about to see how all 4 of these tools can come together to create one seamless, powerful, and incredibly confident answer. Let's break this down. It is just beautiful. It kicks off with the present perfect, I have built, showing that this experience is current and relevant. Then it pivots to the past simple for a specific win. I ran an experiment. Awesome. Then it uses that reported speech perfectly. My team lead mentioned that, and it brings it all home by explaining the why with that infinitive of purpose, to grow professionally. You see, every single tool we just talked about is in there, working together in perfect harmony. That is a masterful answer. So there you have it. The toolkit is yours now. The tools themselves are pretty simple, right? But when you put them all together, they let you tell a really powerful and compelling story about your career. So the only question left is, what story are you going to tell?